Pregnancy should be a time of joy and not anxiety for the woman and her family. Do you want to learn more about pregnancy or have questions about fertility and reproductive health? Then join Dr. Linda Vanotoo on Facebook and YouTube every Saturday at 4 p.m. on the online pregnancy school as she discusses pregnancy, delivery, and childcare with experts.
My name is Dr. Linda Vanotoo. I'm a trained medical doctor, the Masters in Tropical Pediatrics, Executive Masters in Business Administration, and I hold a PhD in Public Health. I'm a wife and I'm a mother of 4 wonderful sons. I'm also the founder of Promise Initiative Ghana, and Promise stands for Promote Maternal and Infant Survival Excellence. This was established with the goal of helping to improve maternal and newborn survival. Through my work, by God's grace, I became the Regional Director of Health Services for the Western region of Ghana. And during that time, I realized that some of the mothers went through the antenatal, but unfortunately when they went to deliver, they did not go home, which means that they died. And then we also had quite a number of newborn deaths, what we call the stillbirth, as well as babies who died not too long after delivery. So as a regional director, it was my responsibility to find out why these women did not survive and why the babies also did not survive at birth. And thinking through this, looking through our records, myself as a regional director and my team, we came together. And in fact, I always say that the promise was revealed to me by God, because I was out on a trip somewhere on a different program altogether. And I was still thinking about what could be the reason why these mothers and babies were not surviving. And then through that, I just asked myself, so what do you want to do? And I said that I wanted to bring some excellence into the way we cared for the pregnant women and the newborns. And that is why I came up with this name, which I believe was a revelation from God, that promotes maternal and infant survival excellence. So this is the main underlying reason why the promise came about. So I started the promise way back in 2008. That is when I had the vision. And then out of that, we came up with a conference which was very, very successful. The first one was in 2009 in the Western region of Ghana. So that is how the promise came about. The online pregnancy school came about during the season when COVID was all over and it was challenging for people to come together. We had introduced what we call the pregnancy school, and this is an addition to the regular antenatal clinic, because pregnant women go for antenatal. And looking at Ghana, the places where we have these antenatals, you find that there are usually a lot of pregnant women at the same time. They hear from the midwives or from other people who educate them about their pregnancy and how they could stay healthy. But then the chance for these pregnant women to ask questions are very slim. So we introduced the pregnancy school, the physical one, the pregnancy school, to create an avenue for pregnant women to ask questions. And then also, if the husbands were available, they could join them to those pregnancy schools. There were times that they could also be taught how to do certain things. For example, if you want to bathe a baby, or how to put the baby to the breast, and give the pregnant women and whoever went with them the opportunity to participate. And sometimes they call the pregnant women to also lead and share experiences. But that is not enough, because during the COVID, it was challenging for women to go to the hospitals, for people to gather in large numbers. So by God's grace, I came up with what I call the online pregnancy school. And the online pregnancy school is to give information about pregnancy, about delivery, about childcare, and the family as a whole, and even bring on board other aspects that are usually not discussed during the antenatal. For example, we have looked at the financial side, how all these things can come together to ensure that we have a good pregnancy outcome. So it was an innovation to get information on pregnancy out there. The other thing is that there are people who may not be pregnant but would also want to know more about pregnancy and about childcare, about other issues, and it's not easy for them just to walk into a hospital to do that. So the online pregnancy school was introduced to give information to anybody who has access to the internet and can go onto Facebook or to YouTube. So that is how come we brought about the online pregnancy school. The My Story session of the online pregnancy school is to encourage somebody out there, to let people know that you may have challenges, yes, but you don't have to stay with that particular challenge or the challenges that you have. You have to move on. And if you do that, you realize that you will use the challenge that you have to push you to become a better person, to push you to gain grounds where you can also be of help to another person. And then it also helps you not to wallow in sadness, because life is not just straight without any challenges, and everybody, I believe, has gone through one challenge or the other. So my story is about people, real people, sharing some difficult or challenging situations that they have gone through, how they managed to overcome, and then what lessons they have learned out of those stories, and how they can help others who might be going through the same situation or may in the future go through the same situation, to also cope, so that those challenges do not lead them into depression and into other aspects that will not be good for their lives. I believe that everyone has a story. Therefore, I also have one. And this is my story. As a young doctor, when I got married, I loved children. I was working in the children's ward, and I was also having my family members' children with me. And that is to tell you the desire that I had to be with children. So I was very happy when I became pregnant, and I was looking forward to having a child and, sharing that joy. But unfortunately, one day I had what we call premature contraction. I was asked to stay at home. I did, and within that period I was praying that it would go to term, or at least it would get to a stage where this baby would come out viable. Unfortunately, one day this baby decided to come out, and that child did not survive. When it happened, I had the support of family, and just as a natural person would do, I cried a bit. And my mom said, "Hey, if you cry, you will not have a child again, or if you do, it will take a very long time." As a medical doctor, hearing this from my mom, it was kind of funny. So I actually started laughing. And I think that helped me, because at that moment, I realized that I did not have to just stay with the fact that I had lost a pregnancy. And by God's grace, after that, I have had 4 wonderful young men. The first one that I lost was a girl. I was actually hoping that I would have another girl to replace that one, so to speak. But God knows best, and He knows what is good for us. So I'm very, very grateful to God that after that incident, I've had 4. I realized that one needs to share an experience, share a story, because somebody out there might be going through the same thing. I know of people who have lost pregnancies and have stayed with that. And I even know of someone that, and as at the time that I met this lady, it had been quite some time after the loss, and she hadn't become pregnant again. I'm not saying this to say that I'm better than anybody, no. But I'm just sharing this for us to know that if you are going through a situation, don't just stay with that situation. It is good to grieve. It is okay if you remember that it is all right, because you will never forget that particular incident. But what you can do is that you can at least go through that situation, learn from the situation, see what you can do with it. If there's anything that went wrong, I believe that that is the time to just assess and see whether there's something you can do. In my case, as a doctor, I didn't know what had happened. I wasn't told what had happened. No diagnosis was made for me, and I was going to the antenatal regularly. There was nothing wrong with me till that day when I had the premature contraction. I was going to work all right. I wasn't feeling anything negative, but this is what happened. So I believe that this aspect of our program, My Story, is to encourage somebody out there. There are also people who haven't had the chance to even share their stories. There are people who have bottled up a lot of things within because they haven't had the opportunity to vocalize them. They haven't had the opportunity to talk about them. And therefore, they think that that is the best to do, to keep it and to agonize and to continually have the pain. But I believe that that is not the way to go. It is okay as a human being to just remember from time to time and probably imagine what this child could have been. But it doesn't mean that you should continue to stay in that situation. I'm sure that this has made me stronger and more passionate about what I do for maternal and newborn care. And so my story is to give a door for people to walk through, to share with others and help others, because as they share the experiences, I'm sure that others will learn from them. And if there are people who unfortunately have not been able to overcome certain situations, they will use these opportunities to do that, and also to reach out to us, because we can help. By God's grace, we can get people to talk to them, and then we can also create the opportunity for them to even get to the level where they can also boldly talk about what has happened to them and share their stories. You know, people have different reasons why they might lose a pregnancy, or whilst a baby could be born unfortunately dead. My suggestion is that if you were attending the antenatal clinic and you were told that there was a reason for that, then probably they would have also told you whether there was the need for treatment to be given or not, or if that thing would recur or would not recur. So it is important that a woman who has gone through such a situation goes to the healthcare provider for more discussion to try to understand what happened. Now, if somebody has gone through a challenge like this, has lost a pregnancy or even delivered but the child did not survive, then that person definitely would have some mental challenges. because it's not easy to carry a pregnancy and not see the baby at the end of the pregnancy. If there's anyone out there who has that challenge, then I would also suggest, if you are close to a hospital, you can get there, we can give you that mental health support. But if you are somewhere that you do not know where to go because you are not aware that there is that service available, or wherever you are, you are not close to someone who can give you that care, then you can get in touch with us. So you can send me a message on Facebook, Dr. Linda Vanotoo, or the Online Pregnancy School. You can also send me a WhatsApp message on +233 59 242 0625, because it's important that you receive that psychosocial support, that mental health support, so that you can overcome this situation. You don't overcome it to forget that I had a pregnancy. No, that is not what we're talking about. We are talking about you being healthy enough to carry on with life, to carry on with another pregnancy, to carry on with taking care of other children. Some people become so frightened that they don't even want to be pregnant again, although they are yearning for children. So that is not what we're talking about. So please get in touch with us. We have people who are well trained to take care of your mental health needs, and we'll be very happy to link you up, and you will be happy with the services that you will receive from them. Definitely. You know, the purpose of this session of my story is that somebody needs help, and that help would come from another person who has gone through an experience, learned some lessons, and have moved on. It's important. So if you are out there, you have a story to tell, you have that avenue. And again, you can send me a message, Facebook, Dr. Linda Vanotoo, or the Online Pregnancy School. You can also send me a WhatsApp message on +233 59 242 0625. And it's not just women, it's even men as well. You may be there as a man. Probably you have been married for a very long time. You've been looking for children. You don't have one yet. Maybe you have gone through a lot of examinations, a lot of things, and you need somebody to talk to. Or you may be a man who has some questions because of past experiences. You want to share that. Or you would have gone through something, you have learned some lessons, and by God's grace, you are now over that particular challenge, and you want to share your story for someone out there to hear it and use that to also console himself or herself, and learn that when you have such a challenge, this is what you can do, and that will also be very, very helpful. You may also be there, you may know of some resources that are available for people who have gone through certain issues that you would like to share. Please, you have that avenue to share that with me. So get in touch with me, and I'll be very happy to get back to you, and we see how we move that forward. My pleasure.